In today's video, we'll be walking through an amazing Danish dough recipe that you can use to make fresh, delicious Danishes at home. I'll be showing you how to make the PREFERMENT, how to make the butter block, and finally how to laminate the butter into the dough. Alright, without much ado, let's get started. Alright, so let's start off with making the PREFERMENT. You want to add your water. Next, you want to add your scalded milk that has been cooled down to room temperature into the water. Add your yeast, add your flour, and then you want to mix that thoroughly. Once all the ingredients are well combined, cover with a plastic wrap and leave at room temperature for 2 hours. Next, get a large Ziploc freezer bag that's about 2/3 the size of a half-sheet baking pan and set that aside. Now take your butter and cut it into 6 lengthwise. So make sure your butter is not just out of the fridge. Make sure you set out your butter for about 10 minutes at room temperature before you start cutting it. Now start laying the slices of butter side by side in the Ziploc bag until the Ziploc bag is full. So you'll see I have 6 slices of butter. So once you have them all lined up, you want to start rolling them with your rolling pin. So you want to roll from edge to edge until you have an even slab. Now place that in the fridge to chill. So here's your PREFERMENT. After leaving it out for 2 hours, you'll see it's nice and bubbly, which means the yeast is working. So now you want to add your eggs and milk, add some vanilla. Next, add your flour, and then you want to add your spices, and then add your sugar, salt, and then butter. So this butter should be at room temperature, so you're able to mix it into the dough without any issues. So using your dough hook, keep mixing the dough until it starts to pull away from the side of the bowl. So lightly grease a bowl with butter and then set aside. Next, turn the dough out onto your surface and then knead until it's nice and smooth. Do not add any flour to your surface before kneading. Now put the dough in your bowl and then cover with cling wrap and let it rest for 4 hours. After 4 hours, turn the dough onto a lightly floured surface and then start to pound the dough with your rolling pin to help relax the dough before you start rolling it. Now roll the dough and keep rolling it into a rectangular shape. You can use your rolling pin to form the sides as you roll. So using your half sheet as a guide, roll out the dough into a rectangular shape. And then it's time to start laminating the dough with the butter. Now cut the butter out of the Ziploc bag. The butter shouldn't be ice cold, so it should have been sitting on the counter for about 10 minutes before you use it. If you notice any parts of the butter block that have some holes, feel free to scrape some butter from other parts and just fill in the hole. Now it's time to laminate the dough with the butter. So make sure you have at least 1 inch of dough to the sides of the dough you have rolled, so you can fold it over the butter like I'm doing. So fold that over the butter, and we're going to do a letter fold. So you want to fold over the 1/3 part of the dough that has no butter first, and then fold over the second part that has the butter over it. Now you want to pound that down, and what we're going to do now is we're going to do the first turn. So the first turn as we laminate the butter into the dough. So you want to roll this out into a long rectangle again and then do another letter fold. So this will be our first turn. We're going to do 3 turns in total. So there we go. So you can make sure you dust off any extra flour and then wrap the dough firmly. Again, dust off any extra flour, wrap the dough firmly with cling wrap, and then let it rest in the fridge for 1 hour. After an hour, it's time to do the second turn. So bring your dough out of the fridge and then roll it out into a long rectangle again. So once you have the long rectangle, you want to do another letter fold. So the first third, second third, dust off any extra flour, and then you want to cover this in cling wrap again very firmly. Wrap it properly, and then you want to put it in the fridge to rest for another hour. So that was our second turn. After an hour, you want to bring that out of the fridge again, and this will be our last turn. This is the third turn. You'll see the dough is looking nice and smooth. Again, you want to pound it and then roll it out into a long rectangle. If you see any bubbles in your dough, do not be worried. It just shows that the yeast is already working. So this is our last turn. Again, dust off any extra flour. You can adjust the dough by pulling it a little bit, and then you want to do the last turn. So that's our last letter fold, the last and third letter fold, and then you can just roll very lightly into a rectangle, and then you want to cover again using plastic wrap. Do that firmly, and then leave your dough in the fridge overnight to rest. After leaving it overnight, the dough will be nice, smooth, and will have increased in size. So now the dough is ready to use. So here I've used it to make some almond bear claws, absolutely delicious. Also, I used it here to make some raisin rolls and also some braided danishes. So I'll have the tutorials for these danishes in my next video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Take care and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.